Okay, this problem wants you to simplify a ratio with polynomials, and I did a video earlier of one of these, but the problem was already given to me in factored form, and then I just reduced it. It was the one that had the 9 over 54 in the front of it, and you reduced it down to 1/6, then you cross-canceled. I think it was a 2x plus 3. Anywho, it was already in factored form. This one is not. So I'm actually going to have to factor both the numerator and the denominator. My numerator is a 6x squared minus 6. Now the first thing I notice is there's a greatest common factor of a 6. I can factor out the 6, and that leaves me with an x squared minus 1 in the parentheses. But x squared minus 1 is a difference of two squares. That can factor into an x plus 1 and an x minus 1. That's one of those special types of factoring where if you were to FOIL it back, if you foiled this back, outsides and insides would cancel. So all you're left with is first times first and last times last, x squared and the minus 1. So anyway, that's my numerator. So come over here, equals. My numerator is going to factor to be 6 times an x plus 1 times an x minus 1. Now, my denominator is x squared plus 5x minus 6. That is one of those trinomials that is in the form of 1x squared plus something x plus something. And again, you did factoring in the last problem set, so hopefully you remember that. The easiest thing on this is simply unfoil it. Since it starts with an x squared, first times first has to be x times x. It ends with a -6, so last times last has to multiply to give me -6. Well, let's just look at the 6. Factors of 6 are 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. But it has to be a -6. So you're either going to have a -1 and a +6, or a -2 and a +3, or a +1 and a -6, or a +2 and a -3. There's 4 combinations. There's only 4 factors of 6, 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. But because it's a -6, I have to consider each number being positive and then negative. And you're looking for the pair that'll add up to this +5 in the middle. So that would be this pair, the -1 and the +6. When you multiply that, you get -6, but when you add it, you get +5. So I'm going to put the -1 here and the +6 there. And that's completely factored. So this is my denominator, x minus 1 times x plus 6. And so this is like my scrap paper here. And now all I'm going to do is reduce my fraction. Oops, forgot my parenthesis here. Once you get it in factored form, sorry, my minus sign is really bad right here. And so is this plus sign. So is that minus sign. Let me fix this. This should be -1. This is minus, and this is plus. Okay, it's completely factored. And the only factors that I have that I can cross-cancel or cancel out is an x minus 1 over an x minus 1. That's it. You cannot cancel those 6's. The 6 in the numerator is a monomial. The 6 in the denominator is part of a binomial. The only way you can cancel This is if you cancel the complete x plus 6 with another x plus 6 in the numerator, just like I did with those x minus 1s. Since there's not an x plus 6, I can't cancel it. So I still have a 6 and an x plus 1 in the numerator, and then an x plus 6 in the denominator. Since the x plus 6 is the only thing left in the denominator, you can drop the parentheses. If you put them in there, if you still want to put them like that, I don't think Alex will care, but they're really not needed since that's the only factor in the denominator. And that's my answer.